Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Aston Edmonds with Health and Swellness. I just finished up the first lower body day of the 5th week for Jonnie Candito's 6-week program. You're about to see the clips in a second. I just figured I'd go ahead and kind of talk about how the day went. And so the main thing of the day, or the main work of the day, was working up to a set of anywhere from 1 to 4 reps on squats with 350 pounds. And going into this, I felt great. I felt very confident on what I was going to be able to do. You know, the 340 for 2 last week went up very easy. I felt like I could do a lot more. But then I kind of started warming up and things were not feeling as great as I had hoped. Weights were moving kind of slow, but I still felt pretty good. I still felt confident that I could hit it. But one thing that I wasn't used to, and now I'm kind of trying to analyze where I made mistakes and what I can improve on so that I hit my, reps next time. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just simply trying to look for things that went wrong that I could then improve on. And so one thing that kind of threw me off is I was working out with another gentleman that goes to the gym. We're both doing squats and there's only one rack open, so we kind of worked in with each other. And I'm used to working out alone, so I'm not used to having someone spot me on squats. And when I do have somebody spot me, typically they stand back unless, I tell them, get ready. But this guy, when it came time for the set, he was all up on me. I mean, he was very close to me. His hands were, already like an inch away from my waist. I mean, he was really getting ready to spot me. And I just wasn't used to that. So I think what kind of happened is, you'll see on my 3rd rep, the bar rolls up onto my neck. And normally that's not an issue for me. If the bar moves at all, it's normally it rolls down my back instead of up onto my neck. So on the 3rd rep, it rolled way up and then I kind of grinded it out. He may have helped a little bit. It didn't really feel like he helped. So I re-racked it, got my positioning again, and then finished off the 4th rep after readjusting, and that one shot up. I don't know if it was from, corrected form or if it was just from adrenaline going. Sorry, there's people watching me film myself. I don't know if it was from adrenaline, but the 4th one shot up pretty fast. It looks like he helped me, but he actually wasn't actually touching me. So I kind of got off 4, although the 3rd one he may have helped a little bit. But that was just something that kind of threw me off. So I think what happened is, since he was so close to me, I subconsciously didn't sit back enough because I was almost, afraid I was going to sit back on top of him, which would have been uncomfortable for the both of us. So I think by doing that, I kind of fell too far forwards, and that allowed the bar to roll up. Also, another thing that I do kind of think messed me up is, when it comes to these PR sets, you really want to rely on your instincts and you want your training to then become, what gets you through the set. You don't want to be thinking about everything or trying something new. And I've been kind of reading a lot of articles on deadlifting and squat and everything, just trying to tighten up everything. And so I read an article by Chris Duffin, very strong guy, very smart as well, talking about the arm positioning during the squat. And so I think it's just one of those little things that I was focusing so much on getting the proper arm positioning that I was losing focus from the overall squat. I was focusing too much on where my elbows should be or where my wrist should be, and I wasn't focusing on just driving the weight up. During your actual training, you should be focusing on improving technique, but when it comes to actually testing your strength, which is what we did today to try to get our numbers for the next cycle, you should just be relying on instinct, which is something that I made a mistake on. What I do think I'm gonna do though is count it as 4 reps. I know a lot of you guys will probably disagree and say, you shouldn't type in 4 reps, but I do feel very confident that I could get the 4 reps very smoothly. The weight didn't feel heavy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type that in 4 reps to get my weight for the next cycle, which I believe is 392.5. So what I'm gonna do is, since it's kind of questionable whether or not I got all 4 reps, what I think I'm gonna do is, if there's days where it has 2.5 pounds, I'll just drop it down. So if it has me doing 352.5 pounds, then I'll just do 350. That way, I can still start pushing the weight up, but I'm kind of taking the lower end of the spectrum. Alright, here with the commentary on the second lower body day. This was the same principle as the squat day, working up to a heavy set anywhere from 1 to 4 reps with 350 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. I only got 1 rep, which I was very disappointed in. I came into this workout ready to set PRs. I made some form changes on the previous workout, like widening my stance a little bit. That felt great. I was ready to come in, get 8 to 10 reps on this, but unfortunately I only got 1. So I was so frustrated that I decided after this to work up to the same weight but with a sumo stance. And as you'll see in a second, I ended up doing better with the sumo stance. I got 3 reps, which I feel like if I would have done it fresh, I could have gotten 4. But what that means is, for the next cycle of the Candito program, I'm going to be pulling sumo as my primary stance and then conventional as my deadlift variation. I do feel like sumo is better suited for my body type. I have a decently long torso, which is, better for sumo. But, I just really have to focus on improving my hip flexibility and mobility, just so I can get into that proper position more easily and more comfortably, because that is how I hurt myself about 8 months ago, is trying to do too wide of a sumo stance, and I pulled my adductor. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I'm excited to see where my lifts are at after the next cycle, especially making the switch to sumo. But thanks for watching, and have a great day.